Let's also take a look at India's fiery response to the Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's address at the United Nations General Assembly, when a strongly worded counter. India accused Shehbaz Sharif of glorifying terror and also spreading a false narrative.
This assembly witnessed absurd theatrics in the morning from the Prime Minister of Pakistan, who once again glorified terrorism that is so central to their foreign policy. Let us recall that it sheltered Osama bin Laden for a decade, even while pretending to partner in the war against terrorism. Its ministers have just recently acknowledged that they have been operating terrorist camps for decades. A picture speaks 1,000 words, and we saw many pictures of terrorists slain in Bahawalpur and Muridke terror complexes by Indian forces during Operation Sindoor. The Prime Minister of Pakistan also advanced a bizarre account of the recent conflict with India. The record on this matter is clear. Till 9th May, Pakistan was threatening more attacks on India. But on 10th May, its military pleaded with us directly for a cessation to the fighting. If destroyed runways and burnt out hangars look like victory, as the Prime Minister claimed, Pakistan is welcome to enjoy it. Mr. President, India and Pakistan have long agreed that any outstanding issue between them will be addressed bilaterally. There is no room for any third party in that regard. This is our long-standing national position. Where terrorism is concerned, we are making it clear that there will be no distinction between the terrorists and their sponsors. Both will be held accountable. Nor will we allow terrorism to be practiced under the cover of a nuclear blackmail. India will never bow to such threats.
All right, so joining us on the broadcast, we've got Mr. Suresh K. Goyal, who's a former Indian diplomat. He's joining us from New Delhi. Now, Ambassador Goyal, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on WION. Now, the Foreign Minister S Jaishankar is expected to speak in less than 2 hours from now. There are a whole host of different issues that will come up as a part of his speech. But what do you think is likely to be the key aspect of S Jaishankar's address today?
I was thinking about that earlier. You see, having known him personally before, all I can say really here is that, first of all, to speculate about what the speech would contain is always a very dicey kind of process, program. But even then, if I have to go into Minister Jaishankar's mind and see how he might like to approach it, first of all, you must understand that the speech given at the UNGA, whether it is by Prime Minister or the Minister, who is a national speech, and most of it really is the position, the national positions in terms of what we expect our foreign policy to be, our priorities, strategic priorities, and how we are going to approach them.
Right.
This is how we would have done it when I was in New York and we were drafting the speeches. This is how we would have done it. I hope that we are going to follow the same process. If we have to follow the same process, then I would think 2 or 3 things really. First of all, knowing the mind of Minister Jaishankar, as I think I do, he's a strategic person. His thinking is very, very strategic, and he takes a larger view of things. So I'm sure that focus is going to be on how India looks at itself or its international behavior in the changing world context. And the fact is that the whole strategic matrix has changed so much over the last 1 year, particularly since the election of President Trump. It has changed so much that many countries are still, even in Europe, they're struggling to really find out how they're going to behave and what their priorities should be under the changed circumstances. So I think number one is going to be what our priorities are in terms of the national strategic objectives. And obviously, it's going to be a larger framework, how we see ourselves in the changing world. Number two, it is going to be elaboration of the strategic priorities, climate change, energy security, our own regional situation, where Pakistan is an important part. I don't think he will name Pakistan or anything at all.
Right.
But I think we are going to talk about the international terrorism, how it is impacting on India, etc., etc. That is going to come into the picture. So there will be description of our own national priorities, our own economic imperative. And beyond that, there is going to be something on how we see the world looking at Indian priorities and what we expect from the world. In that process, I think two words which we must look out for is multipolarity,
Right.
changing context, and our own strategic autonomy, under which we are going to take our own independent decisions depending upon our own priority. So that's a larger framework.
I think you've summed it up
Yes.
really well when you talk about what goes into the drafting of a speech of this nature. Now, considering as to how things been so very fluid with respect to the India-US equation, in your assessment, do you think S Jaishankar will want to touch upon something more specific with regards to how the India-US equation is shaping up with Donald Trump as the president there?
I think two or three country priorities would be USA, our own relationship with the Russian Federation, and China, of course, going to figure there. But as far as the USA is concerned, we might look for our expectations, deeper expectations from the USA, not just at the bilateral level, but at the way USA wants to look at Indian partnership, both in terms of Indo-Pacific, South Asia, and how it looks at India as a partner before, and we are together in terms of dealing with the situation in Indo-Pacific, where China will be an important partner. Now, I hesitate to say anything further because things are really so fluid. One can't define anything at all. Yes.
Indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Ambassador Goel, for joining us with that perspective there.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.